Good evening, everybody. So during this week's discussions, we talked about WSL, we talked about operating systems, Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. And during the window discussion, we talked about the WSL, or the Windows subsystem for Linux. I had mentioned that there is a command that you can run for Kali Linux that gives you a graphical user interface. So in order to install these WSL and Kali or Arch or Ubuntu, you can go to the Microsoft Store and type in the distribution you're looking for and click on the install button. In my case, it's open because I already have it installed. Now, a quick reminder that WSL is actually ran through PowerShell, and you'll see that in a second. So there's the PowerShell commands. I have two, one that was open prior to and the one that I'm just open. So I'm gonna get rid of the old one. And as you can tell, we're on our PowerShell prompt, and WSL is usually command line instead of graphical user interface. And you see the Kex -win-s and started the WinKex server. And basically now you have a beautiful desktop that you can run your Kali Linux machine on if you want to do ethical hacking. Hopefully that's what you want to do, ethical hacking. And you can do your homework. I have OpenVPN because I was using it for Try Hack Me. I was using this particular instance as a attack machine. So I'm gonna open up right now a browser and go to wepa.com, which is a Puerto Rican site, just so you can see that it actually uses all the resources of the machine. So it's just a VM that uses all the resources. And if you've ever used vSphere, then it's the same concept. If you go on vSphere, you can open the machine as in an internet browser, and you can work the whole machine through that browser application. So basically that's all I really wanted to show. Over here I was trying to update the system, but the key ring has expired, so that's another problem for another day, and I'll fix that later. I'll probably have to uninstall it and reinstall the WSL to get that fixed. But basically that's all I really wanted to show. I think is an interesting solution that allows people to use the graphical user interface, especially for such a complex system like Kali, and you don't want to sit down and try to command line everything, although command lining it is probably the best way since they'll use less resources. Remember that using a graphical interface on a machine like that one that's very old, running on 32 gigs of RAM, but no GPU, just using it in an internal GPU, it's not gonna run so hot. So that's why it's a little laggy. But yeah, I hope that this was insightful and that you got something from it, and we'll talk to y'all next week. Have a great one.